how it is for other guys. I know how it is for me. Like I don't like when people bring like tell me about all the like the 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 projected trades and like the possibilities and stuff because like nobody knows a thing and it's no point in trying.
From the EQC Studio, welcome to the Top Step with Ryan Rowland-Smith.
How we going, mates? Welcome back to another episode of the Top Step. We are inside the EQC Studio. I've got a very special guest joining me right after the break. It is Mariners top prospect Harry Ford. I can't wait to talk to this guy. Big reason why is because the trade deadline's coming up. I want to know if that plays big in his head. If he's thinking about the trade deadline, who knows? The Mariners might do something kind of crazy coming up in just a couple days. Special thanks to Emerald Queen Casino, the major sponsor. Special thanks to San Juan Seltzer as well, who sponsored the San Juan Seltzer interview with Harry Ford. So we've got a great show for you. Before we get into it, couple things. Remember, go to YouTube, go subscribe at the Top Step TV. You can watch any of my interviews with all my guests and all the extra content over there, unedited, everything. You can watch it on demand whenever you like. If you missed the show over on Root Sports, so make sure you go to YouTube, leave me a review. I don't care if it's good or bad, whatever you think. All right, so we've got a big show for you. We start every show off with the top trends. All right, so it's that time of year. You start thinking about trade propositions and everything that goes along with it, and we start talking about minor league systems. How good is the Mariners system? Are they willing to give some of these young prospects up? So this stat is brought to you by ilovebaseball.org. If you go to ilovebaseball.org, you can pay $39 a month and you can really make a difference in your young ball players' career off the field as well as on the field. So check this out. The Mariners now, after the 2024 draft, Major League draft that just happened just a few days ago, apparently, they are rated number one according to Bleacher Report. Look at this. They went from, by the way, the Mariners farm system, it's been interesting, right? So you go back to 2022 and they were ranked in the top 5 across everywhere. Like, it didn't matter where you looked. Mariners were ranked, top 5. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, this reset, the Mariners started back in 2018. Well, man, it has really paid off because now they have the best farm system. Not to mention, you see some of these players in 2022 and 2023 make their way to the big leagues. And not only did they get to the big leagues, but they've had some success in the big leagues. The pitching development has been off the charts. That is for sure. You're talking Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. It is insane. But what about some of the position players? So the Mariners went from 2022 to having the top 5 farm system to last year and in 2023 and going into spring training, they were like bottom 5. Like, we're talking at the beginning of spring training, they went from being in like, the 23s, 24s in all different, rankings and everything else. They had, coming out of spring training, according to MLB Pipeline, Sam Dykstra being one of them, they were ranked number 18 with farm systems. So you're looking at this going, man, like, are we kind of spread out here a little bit? We're spread a little thin in the farm system. I think because a big reason for that, you had so many guys that come up, and then there was a big drop-off before you got down to the Harry Fords and the guys who are in A-ball. Well, guess what? Now they've pushed up into double A's and triple A's. Tyler Lockley just got called back up. Harry Ford, who's my guest coming up, he's up in double A. And then you have guys like Luzardo Montez, who's tearing it up. He's in high A. Colt Emerson, first-round pick. Obviously, Harry Ford's ranked number 3. Cole Young, Tyler Lockley just got called up. And this is post-draft. So they are ranked now number 1. That is insane. So the big question is always, when you have the number 1 farm system, do you, at the trade deadline, go ahead and give up some of these players to get something back in return? Is this your window where you go for it? Is this the 2024, 2025 where you go all in? And it's a touchy subject, and it's very touchy for some of these prospects, including the one I have coming up after the break. I can't wait to talk to Harry Ford about all this, where he's at right now, how far away is he from getting to the big leagues? Will it be in a Mariners uniform? We're going to find out right after the break. So don't go anywhere. Stick around right here on the Top Step. All right, welcome back to the Top Step inside the EQC Studio. It is time for the Sam One Seltzer interview. I've got a very special guest joining me right now. I've been waiting since the day before the Mariners opening day. We got a chance to talk on top of the Mariners dugout in front of a whole bunch of Mariner fans. That is Mariners top prospect, Harry Ford. Harry, how are you doing, champion?
Doing good today, man.
I like it, dude. Well, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while and have you on the show, so I appreciate it. So you've had a pretty big week, your second Futures game. How was it?
It was a blast. It was a really good experience again.
Is there anything cool like you guys get to do besides playing in the game?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I got to go to a Nike party, and I mean, like we have a meeting in the morning and getting to talk to the coaches, like
Right.
former players and everything. Those are the coolest parts.
Yeah,
It's a full day.
Right. Who are the coaches for you?
We had Prince Fielder, Adrian Beltre, Nelson Cruz, Elvis Andrews. We had missing some guys, but those were the majority of the guys that were on our side. Oh, and Raul Banez, yeah,
Oh, nice. There you go.
yeah, he's seasick.
That's awesome. So from that, like they obviously have a team meeting. Like, are they good talkers in front of the group? Like, I mean, because I know they show some of it. Like I see them on MLB Network. You know, they're showing a little bit of the guys talking to you. But is it an opportunity where you can talk to them off to the side as well? Like, I mean, is it something where you're talking to like say a Beltre and asking questions, or is it just too quick? Like they're too busy.
Yeah, no, I talked to all of them individually.
Right.
And like I got a chance to talk to everybody, so we get a lot of time. They're not really focused on coaching.
Yeah, gotcha. Is that something that you like in whether it be in spring training, your time from professional baseball on? Do you try and seek out guys that whether it be look up to or guys that had success and try and have those conversations? Is that a big deal for you?
1,000%, yeah.
Right.
I just like getting to talk to them and getting to just know how their career went, like how it was created through their eyes and not through seeing them as just some crazy dreamy figure,
So what, if you can think back, what are some conversations you've had that you're like, man, I'll never forget that conversation?
Honestly, this year talking to Prince Fielder,
Really?
that was really cool. I had a lot of good talks with him.
Like what? Like give me something, because I played against him, man, and it was kind of crazy how his career ended. He was a force, man. Like, he was such a tough out, especially left-handed pitcher, left on left. It's just like, yeah, this is a waste of time. Like, I mean, bring someone else in, because dude, he was such a big. So what was some with Prince? Like, what would Prince give you? Because he's kind of been out of the limelight a lot, last few years. So it's good to see him back, doing what he's doing. But what were some things you talked to Prince about?
We talk about hitting. Like he was in the cage with me, so he was giving me some pointers about my hands and what to focus on and stuff.
Right.
Really simple, but just getting to going deep and talking about stuff.
You're at that point now, man, where you're kind of pushing towards, all right, I'm in AA, I'm kind of in striking distance now, right? And there's been, you're one of the biggest prospects in baseball, let alone the Mariner system. Do you think about that a lot? Like, are you sitting there going, oh man, I'm so close. I'm a few conversations away from Zach, where I'm just start driving the ball again for a good couple of weeks, and man, I might get a phone call at any moment. Do you think about that at this present time right now?
I mean, it definitely passes in my brain sometimes. The reality of it.
Because one guy you played with last year, Tyler Locklear, he just got called back up. I saw him. I was like, hold on, Tyler was in Everett last year with Harry. So you look at that and you're thinking to yourself, man, it's that close.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely goes through my brain sometimes.
Right.
But it's not helpful when I hold on to it.
What do you mean by that?
Because it just kind of puts all this increased pressure and increased kind of standards almost for yourself.
Yeah.
because like all of a sudden, like, you know, a 1 for 3 isn't good enough.
Right.
Or like, you know, what you're doing isn't good enough because it has to be like major league standards when you think that way. So I kind of try my best not to get too far deep into it in my head.
From the EQC Studio, welcome to the Top Step with Ryan Rowland-Smith.
The Mariners are in a situation now where the fans, the fans look at this and go, "Oh yeah, hey, look, we need offense. We need to go big here," because it's kind of like that window of opportunity for them. Because they're as we speak right now, they're hovering around with the Houston Astros in the AL West. They've actually lost a bunch of games. They're 10 games up. But, offensively, the Mariners have struggled. Everyone knows that. That'd be the first to tell you. That lineup would be the first to tell you. So everyone's kind of in this mindset now from a fan's point of view. Oh, they have to go and get that one big name and give up that really good farm system, right? And so in your position now, and you've got friends, man. You got a bunch of friends who are top prospects and guys who are, whether it be an A, AA, AAA. Is that a conversation that goes on between you and your teammates or your friends talking about, oh man, where you're playing GM in your head, but the conversation comes up about different scenarios and everything with what could happen at the trade deadline?
I wouldn't say it gets brought up very much. I'd say probably for most guys, it's probably like a sore subject.
Really? I mean, in what way?
I don't know how it is for other guys. I know how it is for me. Like I don't like when people tell me about all the projected trades and like the possibilities and stuff, because like nobody knows a thing and it's no point in trying. So it's not something that gets talked about.
Because, I had Ryan Bliss on a few weeks back, and he got traded last year. Big, I wouldn't call it a huge trade, but he was doing really well. Matter of fact, he was in AA. Actually, I think he played in the Futures game, right, Ryan Bliss?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he was raking. And so he got to that point where, like, it was coming around the trade deadline, and every like, name that came up, whether it be, like, in the clubhouse, or outside the clubhouse, they're completely off. And he got to a point where he was reading and looking up stuff. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to be traded here. Like, I'm a dude. Like, I'm one of the D-backs up and coming. And then just like that, it just hit him. It just surprised him. You're right, man. It is so hard to, essentially predict or, read into that stuff because it's always something completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I don't want you to go anywhere. I don't think
when
you're going to go
trade
anywhere.
Deadline?
It's July 31st.
Oh,
yeah, so it's coming up.
That's his birthday.
Well, there you go. It's a sign. No, I'm kidding. I have said this thousands of times, man. I hope you don't go anywhere for a lot of different reasons. Everything you do, the way I've seen you off the field too. I talked about my camp, and by the way, if you don't know what I'm referring to, maybe I should put the video up here. But Harry Ford had a bunch of 10-year-olds, fired up 10-year-olds who were so stoked to see Harry Ford on the field, coaching them at my baseball camp up at Funko Field. Big shout out to the Everett Aqua Sox, doing the gritty all the way to big lap, doing the gritty, dude. I'm telling you, mate, I've gotten emails about that. I don't know if I've told you this properly, but that changed some kids' lives, man. Kids are still talking about that. And I've got kids coming back. I'm doing another camp in Everett. And they're like, is Harry Ford coming? I'm like, no, he's moved on. Like,
man.
He's not in Everett Aqua Sox.
In spirit.
In spirit, that's right.
Yeah.
I might have to have you do a big video on the big screen up there and talk to the kids. No, it was so awesome. People ask me this all the time, and I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. How important is catching to you? Is that a position you're like, I absolutely love it. It's part of me. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean that's. I started catching when I was 8, and like catching for me is just it makes the game fun.
Right.
It's the big part of what I love about baseball. Just being involved in every play and getting beat down and everything. Like it's just like what I love in baseball. But at the same time, I understand that like this is a kid's game, and it is a kid's game, but it's also like, we're trying to put together a winning team,
Right.
and like if the team needs me to play somewhere else, sure, go for it.
For sure.
I'll play wherever you need me. But catching that's my love in baseball.
Before you jumped on, you had something at your feet that we can't see. That you said you just started. Or how long you been?
Yeah.
Let's see it, man. What do we got?
Yeah,
Look at that. Where did you get that guitar from?
Mr. Scott Boras. Thank you very much.
Really? What's the backstory here with the guitar?
I got it for the All-Star game.
No way.
It was out my locker when I got there, and I was like, "Whoa, it's crazy."
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. And so this was just if you're a Boras client, this is something. Was he giving everyone guitars?
Yeah, it was like every
Okay.
Boras guy got a guitar.
Oh,
So-
nice. Okay.
It was very nice of him because it's a very nice guitar too.
Oh,
so.
it is. It's not
Yeah.
just some. It's not some $50 thing, but it's just got
No.
a cool paint job. It's a nice one. I like
No, it's a very, very nice one. So
I
I'm
ex-
very appreciative.
it. I expect nothing less. Now, had you played the guitar before you got that in your locker just a couple of days ago?
Yeah, I have another one over here, but like
Okay.
I like very, very like beginner play.
Right.
Like
Ha-
learned a few notes.
How long have you been playing for?
I started practicing at like probably like I don't even remember when it was. It was probably like very beginning of this year because I wanted
Okay.
so I was starting a Bible study with my group, like
Right.
with some players, and I wanted to be able to play a song so we could like sing and stuff. So I started just
Right.
trying to play the song because I went to a different Bible study, and like the guys, like everyone there, that's what they did. They had someone play the guitar and everyone sang, and it was so beautiful. And I was like, man, we're gonna
Yeah.
redo this. And so I tried redoing it, and it was horrible. Like not it wasn't horrible. It just didn't sound how I thought it would sound. I don't think the guys are really into singing much, but like just been playing it since. So like
Right.
pick it up every now and then.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. When you hear music, like you can listen to whatever kind of music, but even if you're not into the type of music you're listening to, if you hear it live and you hear someone who's really good, you're like, oh man, I want to try that.
Yeah, you think it would be so easy,
I
right?
know, I know, big time. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, dang, I can do that. You can do that.
Oh, for sure. Hey, listen, before you go, we do have a very special segment. I ask my guests all the time. By the way, this is the Sam One Seltzer interview with Harry Ford. I do. I have the How to Speak Australian segment. Now, you do have British ties. It's your
Yeah.
dad, right? Your dad's British, yeah?
Yeah,
All right. So
I gotta do an accent.
No, you don't have to do an accent. You can try if you want. But it's How to Speak Australian. It's brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi Pub, which is in Ballard. Another place that it has some British stuff. A lot of Brits go there as well. But I'm picking up a word here for Harry Ford. I don't want to make it too easy because you do have your dad is English, and I don't want to throw any word that we've just taken from the English, like half our language, basically half our words that we use that Americans don't use. We steal it from the British. So I'm thinking up one. You have to guess it. Now, if you don't guess it, that allows other people on social media to try and guess it. So
Okay.
this is the How to Speak Australian segment. And if you do want to try and play along and guess the word, if Harry doesn't get it, I'm predicting he's not going to get it. Go to @thetopstep.tv over at Twitter or Instagram, and you can put hashtag TTSmate and give it a red hot crack. Now, the Australian word I'm going to give you is dunny. Do you know what a dunny is, Harry Ford?
A dunny?
Oh, this is the good-
No
this is the good
chance.
stuff. No chance. Do you want to have a guess?
A dunny. Can you use it in a sentence?
Oh, mate, I don't want to give it away. I'm not feeling too great. I need to quickly go to the dunny. I'm trying to say it more so you don't get it so easily.
Like the loo?
Oh, boom! There you go. Okay, Harry Ford has beaten you to the punch. Everyone who's watching along, listening, yes, it is the loo. Thank you very much. That's the English word. Now, if you don't, actually, you know what? We'll keep it at that because some people watching, listening, they might have to go Google what the loo is. So we're going to keep it at that. We're going to throw some English pie to it. If you can get a hashtag TTS, mate, I like it. I like that.
Are there more words? Is it just one?
That's it. Just it's the dunny. The dunny can. It's very Australian, obviously. We didn't steal it from the English. My brother-in-law is English, by the way. He's like, you just steal all our words anyway. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So the hint is the loo. That's the English hint for you. By the way, I was just in London for my first time. I absolutely loved it. I was over there doing the Mets Phillies series. Yeah. It was a blast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
I hope that we get to go over there one day.
Oh, yeah. I did. I was thinking that. Cool. I was like, the Mariners, that would be perfect. To me, it makes too much sense. By the time you get up, I'm going to try and push for them to go to MLB Europe. If you're watching, listening, you may not be. Make the Mariners get over to London. So Harry Ford, that makes too much sense. I said on that
push for us to get in Australia too, because we got Townsend.
I sure do. Blake Townsend. Yeah. I've known him for a long time. Yes.
We got him too.
You buddies with Blake Townsend?
Yeah, friends. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
I was closer with him when we were in the Arizona rookie ball together. But now he's in Everett and I'm here, so I don't really see him anymore.
Yeah, I noticed. I think I asked him about you back in the day, and he's like, "Yeah, he's the man." He shares some of his stuff on social. Anytime you do something good, he'll share it. So I'm like, they must be friends for sure. Mm-hmm. He's a great, Blake's the man, dude. So I would love to go back to Australia. That'd be number one. But hey, if we go back to London, that's all right, because if they figure out that, hey, look, we've got Harry Ford, the big ambassador from the UK. That would be awesome. No, I had a blast, man. The first day I got there, I'm like, I got to go do the touristy thing. Sat on top of the double-decker bus, the hop-on, hop-off, and just cruise around. It was so good, man. It was so good. Your dad's probably cringing right now if he's listening to that, but that's all right.
Is there fish and chips in Australia?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Harry, I was going to give you a word from a fish and chips reference, but I'm not, because it's just too easy. But yeah, well, we have fish and chips. Smash it down in Australia. Harry, by the way, dude, you would love Australia, man, because you have enough English in you where you get down there and everything you'd feel right at home. But you got the beach, you got the good weather, so there you go.
Yeah, I think Australia sounds like it would be cool.
Oh,
just
dude,
not in like the no man's land Australia though.
No, the beach. Just stay on the beach. Stay on the East Coast.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it for sure. Listen, Harry, I've kept you for too long, mate. This has been an absolute blast, but I am really excited. I've said this 1,000 times. You just haven't heard me, but I'm really excited to see you in a Seattle Mariners uniform here in Seattle, man. Because everything, obviously, you're a stud on the field. Everyone knows that. But the way you're off the field, man, it is rare. You get it. Harry Ford, do not ever change. You one of my favorites coming up, man. I can't wait to see you here in Seattle.